Ha! Scared ya? What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's the worst missionary of all time, Mission Mike, and today I'm gonna help you solve the purpose of your life in like 10 minutes or however long it's gonna be. Okay, we're gonna do this quick in 4 easy steps. So, I'm so funny. All right, here we go. I got a couple questions for you. Questions I ask myself. First, have you ever found yourself asking, okay, what's the purpose of my life? Okay, I'm gonna be looking down, forgive me. What am I even doing with my life? How am I supposed to be spending my time? What should I be doing with my time? Have you ever felt lost, aimless, confused? You know, like, what am I doing on this earth? God, why did you put me here? What am I supposed to accomplish? Everyone around me seems like they got it figured out. I have no idea what I'm doing, etc. Have you ever felt this way? Well, if you have, don't you worry. We're solving that right now, once and for all. So let's jump right in, y'all. 4 simple steps to figure out the purpose of your life. Don't overthink this. Don't spend the next years overanalyzing. I'm gonna just give it to you. So just take it, go do it, go complete the purpose of your life. So, number 1, what are your gifts? I want you to think about that for a second. And let me ask a question off that. Why do you think it's called a gift? That might be a better question to ask. Why do you think it's called a gift? See, here's how a gift works. God gave us gifts. They're presents from Him. They are tools to help us achieve the purpose of our lives. The easiest way to figure out what the purpose of your life is start by analyzing what are your gifts. And usually you can spot that real quickly because it's what you're passionate about. So if you are procrastinating or putting off something important, what do you find yourself doing? 9 times out of 10, that's it right there. Do you find yourself on social media all the time? Maybe it's time to produce content on social media instead of being a consumer. Do you love fitness more than anything? Well, maybe somewhere along the lines of the fitness community is where you belong and where you should start. Mine, for example, maybe this will help you figure yours out, or it'll, hit a light bulb for you. I love, for example, MMA, mixed martial arts. That is probably almost what I'm more passionate about than anything. I love music. I love coffee. All of these are the things that I find myself most passionate about. If you had all the money in the world, what would you spend your time doing? Because I can tell you, if I had all the money in the world, I would still continue to do those. Like, I don't need an incentive, I don't need anything. It's what I love more than anything. So ask yourself that. What do you kill time with? What's your go-to when you procrastinate? What do you love doing more than anything? What do you give all your time to? And start figuring out what your gifts are. And I think where we make a big mistake is we start trying to compare ourselves to other people in their gifts. Because God gives us a specific task we're to complete in life. Then He gives you the exact tool belt that you need. So think about that for a second. You have the exact tools to complete your exact purpose. But when you start looking around, you start saying, oh, so-and-so has better gifts than me. Oh, so-and-so has more gifts than me. All I can do is this one thing. Well, then are you kidding me? You have it easy then. Then master that one thing. But whatever it is, you have got to figure out what are your gifts and what are you passionate about. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be good at it or somewhat decent. And don't sit there being modest. It doesn't do you any good. You're denying glory to God because He's the one who gave you the gift, not you. So, but there are other things that maybe you see somebody else great at and you want it, but it's not you. So maybe you see someone who's an incredible singer and you can't sing at all, okay? But you envy their life. And it's causing you to overlook what you are great at. I've used this one in previous videos. I am horrible at drums. I love drums. I love the sound of drums. But I can admit with humility, that is not my gift. So you got to figure out what you're passionate about and what you're good at or can be good at. Okay? And if you're hitting a wall, it's probably not the gift. You're probably trying to be somebody else that you are not supposed to be. Okay? Number 2. How can you help others with your gift? Okay, so we're gonna use the MMA one. I can't tell you how many times, how many people, instructors, UFC fighters, etc., that I have gotten to pray over and pray for and have these incredible conversations. Because once you figure out your gift, you can now start to figure out your community. Does that make sense? And it can open the door with people who are non-believers or lost, or maybe they're just going through really hard times, you know, and that's your community. So they didn't let me pray over them because I'm great. I didn't make friends with like UFC fighters and champions because I'm this incredible martial artist. I made friends with them because I prayed over them. And maybe somebody wasn't doing that. So I used my gift to then figure out my community. And then I used my community to start trying to help other people. Another big community is music. Okay, I've done all kinds of like live performing. I've been a professional musician where I've made a year's salary just doing live music. Like I would go to places and perform. But that's the best part, is at the end of my performance, because it's my own performance, I would be all the time in the middle, before, after, sharing my testimony along with performance. And it's like, that's the beauty of it. I must have prayed and had conversations with more unbelievers than believers because music was the community. So figure out, maybe your passion is fitness, maybe it's food. Well, go find a bunch of foodies. Go fall in love with food together, and then somewhere in there, you use that community to start helping others and sharing your testimony, sharing the gospel, trying to pray, trying to bless, helping the world, but you're starting with your community. And don't think though that you're limited there, because sometimes you gotta build your own community and it will allow you to bridge into others. Like a great example in plain terms would probably be like, how many comedians went on to then become movie stars, or musicians got into like acting, or into, and vice versa. You know, the point is you got to start somewhere and you grow within your own community, and that will start opening the door to other audiences and bigger audiences. So you'll have an even bigger footprint where you can share your testimony of the gospel, try to help others. So that's number 2, is trying to help others. Number 3, you got to then pick a mission. All right. My personal mission, so once again, my name is Mission Mike. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. I want to help 1 million people. All right, that's my personal mission. And I am a huge fan of picking numerical goals because they kind of keep you accountable and honest. If you just say, I want to help everyone, you're probably not going to do it, in all honesty. You're probably going to barely help anyone because you now don't even, there's no direction to that. That's so vague, you know? You'll tell yourself you're doing it and you're not doing it at all. But if you set a goal of, I want to help 5 people, well, you can actually quantify and achieve that. So once you help 5 people, then you can be like, you know, I think I'm going to try to help 10, you know? So my current goal is I want to help 1 million people, and the goal is to try to do it within the next 10 years. That's the whole reason I'm making this, you guys. Like, if this helps you, like, subscribe, you know, comment down below. That lets me know I'm getting closer to my own goal. But it's like, I want to help 1 million people. So my encouragement to you is, just pick a numerical goal. Join mine. Let's do this. We'll team up. We'll partner up. Me and you, we're going to help 1 million people together. Let's help 1 million people. I'll work on 500,000. You work on 500,000. Okay? Sound good? So now we pick a mission. We're going to help that many people. So you see the layers. First, we're going to use our gifts. We're going to then cater to certain communities, and we're going to then use that to start trying to hit a quantifiable goal, you know? And just reset the goal if you hit it. If you set it, start small, 1 person. Once you hit the 1, then you hit the 5. I heard a great testimony from another fellow YouTuber, Tesha Blair. She was talking about going up the number. If you can even help 1 person, I'm stealing that phrase from her. If you can even help just the 1, well, then you can up the goal to 2. All right, so current goal, 1 million people. All right, and last but not least, a lot of Christians are really going to disagree with this or say that this isn't biblical. Yeah, I've read through the Bible like 7 or 8 times. Like, trust me, this is biblical. You need to figure out how to become an entrepreneur. You need to figure out how to make money and monetize your gift, or you need to pick a career completely in harmony with, or that's going to support that gift. No, you don't need a vague career. No, you don't need some side job that you don't love. You need to gradually turn your gifts into some kind of a side hustle, or then grow it into a full-time business. But one way or another, you need to monetize this. The worker is worthy of his wages. Why do you do this? Okay, and I'm gonna explain this in 1 magical word: consolidation. How many times in your life have you felt, I don't have enough time to blank? I wish I had the time to work out. I wish I had the time to go help people. I wish I had the time to do the things I'm passionate about. probably the number one complaint. I've said this myself. I've heard when I would minister and talk to people that they vent, the number one thing in the way of everybody's dreams is usually a lack of time. I got to pay the bills. I got kids. I got this and that. Oh, I was training and then all of a sudden I ended up in a relationship. It's like, oh, I was training and then I ended up in a divorce. You hear all these people would vent this stuff to me. It's a lack of time. Okay. Here's the solution. You have to consolidate all of these things, multiple items, into one thing. So for example, how do I pick between date night and the gym? Well, make the gym a date. How do I pick between working out but growing a channel? Pull your daggum phone out, film yourself, and upload it. How do I pick between journaling and becoming a writer? Well, journal, write, upload it somewhere to a blog. Okay? How do I share the gospel but then work at the same time? Go out there and share full time and find patrons or people. I mean, that's what the Levites did. They had literally people supporting them financially. So find some people who will support your mission. How do I help people, but also how do I pay the rent this month? Become a life coach. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no right answer to this. This is where you're gonna have to figure things out. I cannot encourage enough. Read the Bible over and over. Maybe listen to podcasts, maybe listen to YouTube videos of people telling their story, read books, do whatever you have to do, okay? But I cannot recommend enough. You have to monetize your gift because then you can kind of accomplish everything all at once. So we'll go back to the music gift, all right? I got to do what I love, play music. I got to share my testimony through the songs I would write, or sometimes I would just play and read scripture. Sometimes I would just strum and tell stories. When people came over and they would sometimes let's say that they would leave tips or something, if I had a tip jar out or something like that, I would sit there and I'd drop everything when I was in the middle of the show and I'd just be like, hey, what can I pray for you for? And it was so fun because I'd get to pray over all these people who are unbelievers. I mean, there were times where people would end up in tears as we're exchanging testimonies and sharing all these things. So it's and again, it's all of it's happening all at once. Same thing with MMA. That one allowed me going and visiting academies and praying over instructors. I'm probably the only person on the mat who doesn't ever pay a drop-in fee. Why? Because it's and I never once got asked for that to be waived. It's just you have these instructors that probably have thousands upon thousands of students who come in and will take what they have to give. And I mean, that's what they're doing and that's their business. But how many people come in there and say hey, what can I pray for you for? And I can't even put into words the powerful conversations that I've gotten to have with both believers and unbelievers. And some of the best relationships. I mean, I have instructors that to me are I feel like they're brothers to me at this point. They're not even Christian. You know what I'm saying? But our common ground is MMA and it's coffee, so, but either way, it's and maybe you haven't figured out how to pay for it, but you can at least figure out how to get things free, which is kind of the concept of reverse income. You can start lowering your bills. So maybe you love coffee. We'll start a dadgum coffee blog or a coffee channel. And then maybe you'll start being able to go visit coffee shops. There were times where I would do videos and I would get coffee or smoothies or things for free just for giving people a shout out. So it's step one is you'll start to figure out how to make things free. Step two is you'll figure out how to make money. And I can make a video expanding on how to make a business, but look, you guys, either way, you got to start a business. You have to monetize it. My mom, for example, does art, I mean, she's literally been able to pay the bills and stuff and gotten into museums, Dallas Museum of Art, you name it, through art. You know what I'm saying? So it's I cannot recommend enough. You've got to figure out how to turn your passion into your career. Or maybe you want to be a doctor and then you need to go to school and you need to become a doctor, but it's even then I'd start my own personal practice personally, because it's then you can pray over people. Then you don't have to conform to what they want. And there's a lot of jobs, if you go and try to talk about Jesus to somebody, you're getting fired. Let's be real. This world is not fair. It's not, you can go into somewhere and they can talk about whatever they want, all they want. You go and start talking about Jesus or your faith, you're probably gonna get fired, right? It's not equal, y'all. It really isn't. So starting your own business, whatever that is, if you love coffee, maybe you start working at coffee shops, but maybe the end game needs to be you start your own coffee shop, right? Either way, once you kind of own the thing, Nobody can fire you. I mean, you can fail and go out of business, but nobody can fire you. And it kind of helps you protect your free speech, which you need in order to be able to help people share your testimony, share the gospel, etc. But you've got to turn it into your passion. So hope this helps you guys, but remember, those are the 4 steps. What are your gifts, okay? How can you help people with your gifts? Then you need to figure out, like, whatever the mission is, just pick a number of how many people you want to help. We'll start there. And then how can you monetize it? If you found this helpful, there's a link down below where you can buy me a coffee. You can check out my website, mymissionwork.com. It is a service company where we do the mission work for you. Or if you need help or prayer or anything, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. But whatever, just the point is I want to help you guys. So love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.